Hello, you are welcome to New Focus Approach to Mathematics Basic 9. This is the revised edition. And in this video, we want to learn how to express integers to a given number of significant figures and decimal places. This lesson can be found in page 3 of your book. Now let's get started. We learned from our previous lesson, if you could remember, that is in book 8, that significant figures are the number of digits in a value. Normally, we make reference to measurement that contribute to the degree of accuracy of the value. And remember, we did series of examples in book 8. Now, here we want to recap on what we learned about significant figures. They will do the same thing about decimal places. Okay, now here we have 3 questions. We are to express each of these questions or each of these figures to significant figures as indicated. For example, the first one says we have 389,743. And we want to run this to 4 significant figures. And as it stands here, all these numbers are significant. Okay, but we needed only the first 4 significant figures. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and that we have 3, 8, 9, 7. Okay, now after getting our 4 significant figures, the remaining 2 numbers, the immediate number that comes after the 7 is 4, which is less than 5. So we can't run it up again. And so those 2 numbers, we replace them with 2 zeros, and that becomes the answer. And so our figure 389743 can be written as 389,700 to 4 significant figures. Okay, now let's look at the second one. The second one, we have to run it to 5 significant figures. So let's look at the first 5 numbers. So we have 5, 2, 0, 4, 7. Good. Now the number that follows the 7 is 8. Or let me just keep the 8, 9, and 6. Now this 8, because it's 5 or more, we run it off to this and make here 8. Okay, so when that is done, now the remaining 3 digits, we have to replace them with 3 zeros. And so our answer to 5 significant figures becomes 5204800. Okay, let's look at the last one. I'm sure you can pause the video and even try your hand on this. Okay, the last one, we have to run it to 3 significant figures. So we take the first 3 numbers, and the first 3 numbers will be 8, 3, 7. This is the first 3 numbers. Okay, so this 837, the immediate number that follows it is 2. Now 2 is less than 5, so we can't run it off, and so we leave our answer this way, and the remaining digits we put them to zeros. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so this is how we can run this number to 3 significant figures. Right, now let's look at decimal places. Now we learned also from our previous lesson that when we talk of decimal place, is the position of a digit to the right of a decimal point, to the right of a decimal point. Now let's take few examples as a recap. Express each of these numbers to the given decimal places. Now we have this number here, okay, which is 7,426.42357 to 3 decimal places. So first we repeat our number 7426. Okay, point. Now remember that we learned that for decimal places we always count to the right after the decimal point. And so after the decimal point we have 4, 2, 3, 5, 7, right? And so we count from that point. So we are going to count 3. So the 3 we have 4, 2, 3. Okay. Now after knowing our 4, 2, 3 as the 3 decimal places, the number that follows the 3 here is 5. And because it's 5, it can be run off. So we run 1 through this to make it 4. And so that becomes our answer. Here we don't need to put zeros behind it again because those zeros become insignificant to this very context. Okay. And so our answer becomes 7426.424. That becomes our answer. Now the next question, we have 589,217 point. Then now we have to leave it to 2 decimal places. So 2 decimal places will be 6, 7. That's counting from after the decimal point, 6 and 7. And the immediate number that follows 7 is 4. And that 4, there's nothing we can do about it, or we can't add it to the 7. And so we leave our answer as such. Good. Now let's take the next one, which is 14096. Always you write the numbers before the decimal point, because in decimal places we only count after decimal point. Okay, so first decimal places is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 0.0764. Now the number that follows the 4 is 7, and so we can round off this 2. This now becomes 5. Good. And so that will be the 4 decimal places. Then finally we have 147,486, and we have to run it to 2 decimal places. So that will give us 39. Okay, let's be careful over here. 39 is the answer, but because the 6 that follows the 9 is more than 5, we run it off, and running it off means this is going to now become plus 1 to make it 0, and the 0 remainder 1 will move here to make here 4, and so our answer becomes 147,486.40, and that becomes 2 decimal places, right? And so this is what we want to remember ourselves with as far as decimal places and significant figures is concerned. Go ahead and solve more questions in your textbook. Thanks so much for watching.